Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. If you're new to my channel, thank you for watching today. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get started. So today I wanted to talk about the very hyped up new foundation at the drugstore. This is the Loreal Lumi Cushion Foundation. You can find this at any drugstore near you, at Ulta, etc, etc. It's very pricey. The cheapest I've seen it is for like 15. I think I paid around 17 maybe at Ulta. It's very expensive for a drugstore foundation, which is aggravating, but that's okay. The packaging is adorable. It's rose gold around here. You open it up, you have a nice mirror in here, which is awesome, and then you have a little sponge that you can use to apply the foundation if you wish. And then this little compartment just pops right open and your foundation's right inside. Now I will say you only get 0.51 ounces of foundation. Most drugstore foundations, or most foundations in general, are usually about an ounce, a full ounce. So you're getting a lot less product in this for a lot more cost. So not a huge fan of that. Basically what this foundation says on it is just that it's a buildable luminous foundation. If you guys have tried other cushion foundations, basically the concept is that all the liquid is just inside the cushion, so it's easy to carry around with you, it's easy to travel with, etc, etc, etc. Now, I have tried the foundation a few times now, so I feel like I can give you guys like a really honest opinion. I've worn it all day at work, I've worn it out and about, I've worn it out to dinner, etc, etc. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you my bare face in a minute, and I'm going to show you how I apply the foundation and even apply multiple layers. And then I'll come back at the end of the video and give you guys my final thoughts. So if you wanna see how this foundation applies, then just keep watching. The foundation does, when you open up, it comes with this little sponge here. I haven't tried it with the sponge just because I'm not a huge sponge fan for my foundation, but I guess it's nice if you do like a sponge. It's nice to have this in there. This compartment right here closes, so it really seals in the foundation. And then it opens up and your foundation's inside like this. So I have the shade W2. That is the lightest that I've seen anywhere. It's the lightest that I saw on the display too, so I don't know why there's not a W1, but this is the lightest and it pretty much works for me. It's a little bit dark, but it's okay. The way that I have been applying this is with my Sigma flat top kabuki brush. This is the F80. This is one of my favorite foundation brushes of all time. So this is how I typically apply my foundation, whether it's, no matter what foundation it is, this is the brush I usually use to apply it. I've seen people use the beauty blender or like the Real Techniques beauty sponge to apply this, and I have to say I haven't even tried that because I know it would give me even lighter coverage. So I've just been sticking with this, and this is what I typically use for foundation anyway, so for the purposes of this review, this is what I wanted to show you. So I will just dip my finger in here. All the product obviously comes off right on my finger, and then I'll just put a pretty generous amount of this on my face because I have a lot to cover up. Aunt Flo has come to visit and my skin is nuts. So so as you guys can tell, I have quite a bit going on my skin right now. And not only that, but I mean, I always have quite a bit going on my skin, but I also have a lot of scarring and stuff like that. So I have a lot that needs to be covered up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how this applies. So what this foundation claims to do, it says it's a buildable luminous foundation. I definitely agree with the fact that this is luminous, but it's not too luminous. If you guys have tried just the regular Lumi foundation by L'Oreal, I was not a fan of that at all. That I felt like was way too luminous and just made me look like a huge grease ball, and my skin's not even greasy typically. So I was not a fan of that one at all, like whatsoever. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that this is full coverage. I'm gonna show you guys right now, I do not agree with that whatsoever. This is way too light of coverage for me, for what I typically go for. Like I said, I have a lot to cover up on my skin, so I think if you have fairly good skin or you just don't really care about covering things up, you might really enjoy this. This is one layer on my skin. I mean, you guys saw how much I applied, and this is applying it with this brush. As you can see, you can still see all of my spots right here, and you can still see some discoloration over here. It's definitely not full coverage. I have tried to build this up, and I have to say it does nothing. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to apply basically the same amount that I applied the first layer. So I'm just going to do a full second layer of foundation and see if we can get more coverage. I mean, I think you get a little bit more coverage, but I definitely wouldn't say that you get full coverage whatsoever. Okay. I even really try to like press this into my skin so that it gives me more coverage rather than just rubbing it around. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't give me the amount of coverage I typically go for in a foundation. My face has a lot of redness on it anyway, so typically foundations, I really have to like blend onto my neck to get them to match, because my face is just like always a different color than my neck, even if I haven't self-tanned or like anything like that. So, I mean, that's something to notice anyway, but you can see, I mean, this is the lightest shade and it's still a little bit dark compared to my neck. Granted, again, I have to blend it onto my neck regardless, but that's just something to know. I don't know if you're like extremely pale. I don't know if you're gonna find a color that works for you, because this is the lightest one and it's really not, I mean, it's light, but it's not super light. So this is the foundation with 2 layers on, 2 full layers. I don't know, as you guys can probably tell, I can definitely tell, you can still see all my spots through here. You can still see spots down here and over here on my cheeks. So it's definitely not full coverage. I have foundations like the Rimmel 25-hour foundation. What's the other one I really like? Oh, the new Maybelline one, the Dream Velvet. That one is really full coverage. So I know full coverage when I see it on my skin, and this is definitely not full coverage. Now, that being said, as far as the finish, I really like the finish. As you can see, it's just, it looks really natural and it looks really healthy. It's not overly glowy, but it definitely gives you some glow. So now you guys have seen how I apply it, and you've seen, you know, what the coverage looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and just give you guys my overall final thoughts on the L'Oreal Cushion Foundation. Okay guys, so I have gone ahead and I've applied the rest of my makeup, my concealer, all that good stuff. So I wanted to just give you guys some final thoughts on the product. Basically what I think is, if you're looking for a totally full coverage, luminous, wonderful foundation, I don't think this is gonna be the product for you. Like you guys saw, I mean, I applied 2 full layers of this on my face, and I don't even feel like the second layer did anything, to be honest with you. So as far as the coverage goes, I'm not a fan, but that's simply because I prefer something really full coverage that's gonna last all day and won't move and will cover everything that I want it to cover. I think that if you are someone who has fairly good skin and you don't have a lot that you want to cover up, I think that this would be beautiful on you. Now, as far as the finish goes, if you guys are familiar with the original L'Oreal True Me foundation, the original L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation, that one I actually tried a few times and I absolutely hated it and ended up returning it because it was way too dewy and just made me look like a grease ball, even though I have dry skin. This, as you can see, I mean, I haven't set it with powder or anything, and it just applies like it just gives you a really nice natural finish to your skin. I don't feel like I look overly dewy, but I don't look dry. My skin just looks kind of healthy and just naturally glowy, which is beautiful. So I do really enjoy this finish of this foundation. If you are super dry, I think you'll love this. I think if you're super oily, you won't love this, because I could just see this sliding around your face all day long. As far as lasting coverage, I wore this to work the other day. I was at work for like 9 hours, I think, that day. You know, I mean, it was a long day that day, but by probably hour 4 or 5, all along like my jawline, it was starting to break up and just totally wipe away. On my chin, it had wiped away, and I just looked like a hot mess by the end of the day. So that day I actually set it with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, like all over my face, and it still just didn't last throughout the day. So again, not a huge fan of that. I really like foundations that are gonna last me like forever, that are totally bulletproof and they're not gonna move, and I don't have to worry about them moving throughout the day. But this one just fell short in that area. I do love the packaging. I think it's super cute and super portable, which is a great idea. I love that it has a mirror on the inside. But overall, I don't know, it's not my favorite in the world. I think that, honestly, I think what I might do with this foundation is, I'm definitely gonna return this one just because I don't see myself using it in the next few months, because I don't know, I just need fuller coverage right now, and it's so expensive that I'd rather spend my money on something else. But I honestly think I would purchase this for the summer and get like a darker shade, obviously, because I'll be more tan. I think this would be really beautiful in the summer, just to apply like a light coverage. I don't completely hate this foundation at all. I just think for my skin type, especially right now with my skin being so crazy, it's just not the right foundation for me. But I do think that if you have drier skin or combination skin even, and you don't need a totally full coverage foundation, I think you'll really enjoy this. It gives a really nice finish to the skin. It doesn't last forever, like I said, but if you're just going out, you know, to run an errand, or you're going out to dinner or something and you don't need anything that's gonna last you 12 hours, I think this is a nice foundation. So do I think it's a terrible foundation? No. Is it right for me? No. I think it's good, but it's just not right for me. So if you guys have tried this, let me know what your thoughts are. I know there's so many mixed reviews, but there's been so much hype about this foundation that I really wanted to try it out and do a review for you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Let me know your thoughts on the foundation if you've tried it, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.